how do you know Amber?
We work together on Aquaman.
So you work together as actors, right?
No, as janitors. No!
Mr. Momoa, you have to take this serious.
He's not a janitor. He's actually Aquaman.
Who are you and how did you get in here?
I'm the locksmith. And I'm the locksmith.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Weekend Watch List. My name is John. First off, I want to apologize for being about an hour late. Actually, exactly an hour late. We had some pretty bad thunderstorms rolling through town, and I just didn't want to... Didn't want to come on while the thunder was bumping in the background, but they have passed, and we are live. And thank you for hanging out and waiting for us. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the chat. We are today talking about the things that I watched over the weekend. Now, I did watch a couple of things this weekend. We did Thursday. I guess if you want to count Thursday as being the weekend, then that's where it started. Thursday, I watched Kevin Smith's new movie, Clerks 3. And Clerks 3 was, I gotta say, it was really, really good. Better than I expected. Now, I'm not the biggest Kevin Smith fan. I do enjoy some of his offerings. To me, they're a little bit raunchy. The language I could do without the language, the F's and all the other words that are in there, starting with those letters, and the seven words you can't say on the air, which apparently you can now because. Heck, I think I've seen him on Nickelodeon now. But Clerks 3 was actually really enjoyable. It has a story, and from what I remember, Clerks 1 and Clerks 2, I don't remember Clerks 2 as much. I think I've seen that one maybe once or twice. But the original Clerks I've seen a couple of times. I've seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I've seen Jay and Silent Bob Reboot in theaters twice. That was part of a Legion M investment, and we got to do a meetup for that at one of the local theaters. And the Clerks 3, I waited until that was available to stream, and I streamed it. And it actually was quite enjoyable. So, if you get a chance to see it, I would highly recommend it. Now, the basic storyline, I'm going to assume, because I don't know the personal things that he went through, but Randall is working one night and he has a heart attack, and he has what they call the Widowmaker, and his life is saved by the doctor, who is great. The doctor, I think her name is Amy Pol. No, what the heck is her name? She's from The Mandalorian. I can't remember her name. I should always have IMDb up when I'm talking about something, shouldn't I? Should have a whole bunch of tabs open, but I guess I'm not that prepared tonight because of the rain. But no, not Polar. Polar is the one that's on Community, right? Let's see. But she's the doctor, and she plays a great part in this, and she's funny. So he's saved, and while he's laying in the recovery room, Dante says, out of everybody I know, you're the one that I felt could make a really good movie. And that sparks Randall. And he sets himself out to go make a movie. And let's see, what's her name? Amy Sedaris. That's it. Amy Sedaris. I knew it was close to that. So it then becomes his adventure of writing a script and coming up with a title and trying to find the funds to make the movie. And it also coincides with Dante's story. And I guess I need to watch Clerks 2 again, because apparently Rosario Dawson, Becky, the character of Becky, I guess, I don't know if they were married or if they got married or were going to get married in Clerks 2, and she was in a car accident, and she visits Dante as what I can only assume is a spirit, and talks to him and tries to encourage him to help his friend, and because the friends are not going to be there all the time, and if you haven't seen somebody in a long time, don't lose contact with them, or if you have, reinitialize that friendship. And when he gets the funds from, I guess, his ex-wife, who is what's her name? I can see all these people in my head. I just don't know their names. It's Kevin Smith's wife in real life. She puts up, she gives him the 30 grand, and Dante puts up his half of the convenience store, the Quick Stop, in order to get the cash. So it becomes an infatuation with Randall to make this movie, and their friendship starts to suffer. And towards the end, and I'm sorry for spoilers, but it's been out for a while. So I guess if you haven't seen it yet, you can come back after you've watched it. But Dante has a heart attack. And he's rushed to the hospital. And unlike Dante, who spent the time at the hospital worrying about Randall, Randall is very selfish and basically a dick. And he decides to go work on his movie instead of being with his friends, because his realization is, his rationalization for this is, well, there's nothing I can do here. I'm going to go make my movie. So when Randall finds out that Dante sold his half of the Quick Stop in order to finance this movie, he realizes what a friendship really is. And Dante wakes up, tubes sticking out of his body, down his throat. And Randall says he's so glad that he's still around and wants to show Dante the finished movie. He wants him to be the first one to see it. And it's basically Clerks 1 shot in black and white. And for what I got out of it, it is Dante's version of that moment where your life flashes before your eyes and once the movie is over, Dante dies. And they go to the cemetery and everybody's there. And I can't remember what Randall said at the burial, because that whole last third of the movie, the whole third act, really hit me. You know, because I think Dante said he was 48 or pushing 50, and I'm past that. So it hit me hard, and well, let's see here. Oh, Brian is the same age I am. I'm a couple of months older. So you know, I thought about all the people I knew growing up, going to high school with, and junior high, and I decided to reach out to a couple of friends from way back just to say hi, and because since I moved 11 years ago, I really haven't seen anybody. Occasional text now and then. But as you know, even though if you text somebody, that kind of wears out. And you'd be like, oh, you know, I should text so-and-so. You know, I'll just do it later. And then you don't. But it was good. It was a good movie. It was enjoyable. It's probably out of the trilogy of Clerks, Mallrats, Dogma, the two Jay and Silent Bob movies, all the films in that universe. It's probably the only one that I'll watch multiple times, because Kevin seems like while he was making this, like he grew up a little bit. Not that he doesn't write well, but there seemed to be a little bit more in this in Clerks 3 than the other two Clerks, and I really enjoyed it. It hit a special place, being of the same age as the main characters and their health issues, and it was really good, and it's something I'm definitely going to check out one more time or a couple of times. You know, just because it's funny when the cameos start rolling in the audition scenes. Those are hilarious. Ben Affleck's character is really funny in the audition scene. And I think, yes, so number 4 was Melissa Benoist. And, you know, Supergirl. And I'm looking at her saying, man, she looks familiar. And then there was her second time around, I realized who it was. And she was good in it. Ralph Garman was good in his cameo. And then you had, Anthony Michael Hall was great. He doesn't look like Anthony Michael Hall anymore. Freddie Prinze Jr. was great. And it's cool to see that. And I think it would be cool to have all your friends come out who you've known and worked with over the years and have a relationship with, help you make a film. So out of 5 stars, or do they do 4 stars? How do they do that? I know one is a rotten tomato and one's a spilled bucket of popcorn, but I would give this 3.5. 3.5 out of, let's do it out of 4. 3.5 out of 4. Really good movie. Really enjoyable. I recommend it highly. 2 thumbs up from Siskel and Ebert. So the next feature, when did we watch? Let's see, that must have been Friday night. Friday night, every weekend, I'll set up my projector and my Roku, and I'll put up a movie screen in the backyard, and we will watch a film in the backyard. We'll watch a movie in the back. And being that it is October, my wife and I do horror movies. So last week, we watched Halloween Ends, which was a dumpster fire. Horrible. I wish they had called, and I say this a lot about a lot of movies. I wish they would call me and show me the movie first, or at least a rough draft, so I can help you fix it. Because Halloween needed help. But that's not what we watched on Friday night. Friday night, we went old school. Real horror. Terror. Poltergeist. 1982 version. Now, I haven't seen this all the way through in quite some time. Probably a couple of years. I haven't seen it all the way through because usually in October I have the Halloween box set, which at the time when I bought it said the complete collection, and then they may release 2 more pieces of junk. But that's what we usually do, is we usually do Halloween, and if we get through those, we'll do a couple of the Nightmare on Elm Street films for Halloween in October. But this year we decided let's let's go old school. Let's do something we haven't seen in a long time. And that was Poltergeist from 1982. Now, I'd seen this movie in the summer of 82. Let's see. When was this released? Does it say? It was released June 4th, 1982. So this could have been one that I had seen for my birthday in August in 1982, which means I would have been 13? Yeah, I think probably 13. So I had seen this movie, watched it at the Kings Park Theater. Now, when I was a kid, we did not have theaters that 10, 15, 25 screens. We had theaters that had one screen. I worked at a theater that had one screen. And change these up. Oh, this feels so much better. I can't stand those Apple ear pods. What a dumbass design. Whose ear is shaped like this? Huh? Is there anybody's ear that this fits in? Piece of garbage. But yeah, I saw this at the Kings Park Theater, which at the time, I believe, and I wanted my buddy Martin to join in the broadcast tonight because he knows all these theaters that I talk about because we would go to the same theaters growing up. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was a rumor that this theater was haunted. I want to say something about the upper level where the projection room was, but I'm not certain. I'm not 100% positive on that. But when I saw this film in 1982, 13 years old, and I'm still wimpy. Just look at me. But when I was a 13-year-old, I was a wimp. I had people ride home on my bus that lived across town just to get off the bus to beat me up at the bus stop and then walk home. So you can tell how wimpy I was. So after seeing this movie, I remember having to sleep with the radio on because I was too scared. I was too frightened to fall asleep. So I had to sleep with the radio on. But nowadays, you watch this as a grown-up, and it still scares you. It is still that good of a horror movie. The effects are great. I think my favorite part in this whole movie is towards the end when they have to get out of the house after they think it's clean. And JoBeth Williams is running down the hallway, and they do that thing with the camera where they force perspective, and the door in the hallway just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. And then they cut away to the kids screaming, and then they come back out and they continue to do it. So it's like, usually it's like when it was in Jaws, it was just, Roy Scheider on the beach, and then, that was it. But this one was a long hallway, and then they did it again after a cutscene. And that's just amazing filmmaking. I don't know what happened to Tobe Hooper. I don't know what he's made after, if anything. But if you haven't seen the original Poltergeist, and, if you're on a retro channel, you probably should have seen the original Poltergeist. It's that good. So you have JoBeth Williams is the mom. Craig T. Nelson is the dad. You have Dominique Dunn is one of the daughters. Heather O'Rourke is the other daughter. And then Oliver Robbins is the son. And I think he gets it the worst because I think he gets eaten by the tree. And it's just a great the soundtrack, the score. Jerry Goldsmith strikes again and hits it out of the park. And it's just you gotta see it. It's one of those classics. Let's see, what has Tobe Hooper done? According to IMDb, let's see. According to IMDb, Tobe Hooper, he passed away August 26th of 2017, 74 years old. What a shame. He was making movies up until 2013. Let's see. Djinn in 2013. Destiny Express redo. 2009, Mortuary Toolbox Murders. In 2005. That sounds familiar. The Toolbox Murders. That must be one I see on... like, what do they call that horror channel? Shudder? Crocodile was a TV series, a video. The Others. Night Terrors, Tales from the Crypt, Freddy's Nightmare TV series. So I guess that was like an anthology for kind of like wow, he did Life Force. Do you remember the movie Life Force? I haven't seen that in a long time. But yeah, Tobe Hooper. Everybody thinks it was Steven Spielberg. And there's one little thing that we noticed watching this, and actually my wife pointed it out. They're talking. Who said it first? It was okay. So there's a scene where they are being interrogated or they're being interviewed. And Craig T. Nelson says, he's asked a question about the family, and he says, well, my wife is 32 years old. I have 3 kids. I have an eldest daughter who's 16. And then all of a sudden, my wife goes, what? The wife is 32 and the daughter's 16? That's pretty weird. If I say so myself. I don't know. I think it was in California, so I'm not so sure as California was that freaky and deep, back in the 80s, but geez, 16 years old when you have a kid? I mean, nowadays, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. But doing the having the 16-year-old, and unfortunately, I mean, she was actually, was she 20? Was she 20 years old? Gosh, I think she passed away right after the movie was finished. She died a few months after the movie was released in November of 82 at the age of 22. So she was on the miniseries V. She did Hill Street Blues. She did Chips. Fame, Poltergeist. She was on Heart to Heart. Lou Grant. And that was my Friday night feature. Saturday night, I think we watched the Philly game. Phillies in San Diego Padres, and I'm glad the Padres got theirs handed to them. I'm a Met fan, so I can't talk about the embarrassment that my guys put us through in the wild card round, but I'm glad to see the Phils. I'm a National League East, and unless it's the Braves, and my son's wife is a Philly fan, and we're rooting for the Phils all the way. And even though I live in Texas, let's go Phils. So Saturday night after the game, I'm really not into him. He was from, he played the boyfriend in Ant-Man. But he kind of grew on me, and then all of a sudden it gets really, really good. I'm really, really into it. And all of a sudden, the very last episode, and this thing just goes, and it's horrible. Horrible. So, let's take this call. Hi, who's this?
Hey. Albert. That's your buddy, Jeff.
Hey, it's Jeff. Jeff, why are you calling in so late? Aren't you asleep?
You know what? A lot of things put me asleep these days. That's that Star Wars show.
This show puts you to sleep?
No, the Star Wars stuff.
Which one?
That last one. What's it called?
Andor?
There we go.
You don't like?
I thought it was going to be good, but...
Oh my gosh, it is so good. You're not liking Andor?
Stop it.
Really? You don't like this show?
No, I'm just waiting for it to get interesting. The last episode was like getting there.
Well, have you seen the episode before that? Don't tell me
All the episodes.
that was one of the best hours of Star Wars ever.
The last one?
Yeah, the one called The Eye. Where they
What's going to happen, do you think, this Wednesday?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I think so. Have you read anything about how they're setting this up?
No spoilers, but
Well, no, not spoilers, but basically the outline of the way the show is going to go is the first 3 episodes are its own 3-episode arc. Then 4, 5, and 6 are its own episode arc, which climaxed with the heist. And then 7 was a standalone episode. And then 8, 9, and 10 are a 3-episode arc. And then 11 and 12 are a 2-episode arc. So apparently that's...
George didn't tell me that stuff. You got the intel.
Well, when there's something I enjoy, I will look into it.
But you hate all new Star Wars.
Well, this is hearkening back to old Star Wars. This isn't...
And you're actually loving it?
I enjoy... To me... Okay, let me put it to you this way. Let me put it to you this way. Where was the first action scene in A New Hope?
In the beginning.
And then how long until the next action scene?
Still in the beginning. Dude, Darth Vader ruled.
No, A New Hope had 5 minutes of action. They sent the droids down
You're talking about the timeline.
Well, yeah. I'm talking about how you started. They started off with an action scene, and then they had to build a story to get, to build the world and get to the next action scene, which was a 5-minute escape from Mos Eisley.
Right, and his pod and whatnot.
In the Millennium Falcon.
Well, that too.
Right. And then more talking until they get to the Death Star. And then once they get out of the Death Star, that's where the movie really takes off and becomes action sequence all the way to the end. And I think that's...
Here's my problem with people judging Star Wars. Do you mind me saying this real quick?
No, go ahead.
All right. So, I'm talking to the OG guys, the ones who originally saw the Star Wars in the theaters. Your socks are blown off. Check, right?
Right.
All right. And then Empire Strikes Back comes in there and blows your doors off, right?
Right.
Then you look at back one. The first one was not that much action-packed. The second one had better stuff, right?
Right.
And then you're so disappointed when you got to see Princess Leia in the, not so disappointed. Let's put it this way. You're happy to see Princess Leia in the slave outfit, but there's a whole bunch of, teddy bears. Harking back to Empire being the best action movie of the trilogy, correct?
Correct.
All right. So when people start judging the Star Wars entity back in the days, back when we were growing up, you had your favorite. I always enjoyed the first one because that's how I get to see Darth Vader doing his stuff. And the third one, hey, Princess Leia, slave outfit, it's not so bad. But
It is. But you also got to look at it the way I explained it. Even in The Empire Strikes Back, the first action scene isn't until a half an hour into the film when the walkers show up. And then...
Are you tiring the film? Back in the days, I wasn't.
No, I'm talking about structure. I'm not talking about the story. I'm talking about how the story was layered piece by piece to get to the end.
I forget you're analytical like that. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
But that's what they're doing in Andor. Is they had to introduce you. I know you've already seen Andor in the movies.
Yes, sir.
So you kind of know who he is, but you don't. So now I have to admit, I've been on a couple of other shows where, and I've done videos on it where it's taking me 3 times to watch because I kept falling asleep on the first few episodes because it was...
I think you're in a comfortable chair. You're always falling asleep, sir.
I do have a too comfortable chair. My chair is way too comfortable. But after I realized maybe I should watch this when I'm awake and not tired after a 10-hour shift, and I watch it and I stay awake and pay attention to what they're saying. I think it's fantastic. And 2 weeks ago, that episode 2 weeks ago was amazing. I thought last week's episode with all the name drops of Palpatine and
There you go.
and then they mentioned Ord Mantell. You remember the planet Ord?
That's building up story there.
That's where from The Empire Strikes Back.
Exactly.
So
God bless you.
thanks. So the story, I don't know where they're going to go next, but I don't care. I want to see more of the Empire. I want to see more of the building. I didn't like the character Deidre. You know which one she is?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
She's the Imperial that wears the white outfit.
Yeah, I know.
So
But it's like, wait, just wait. It's going to blow your socks off.
see, I can't. I like her character. I like the guy who was fired from his job.
They're keeping up the Empire. They're like going, hey, sleepyheads.
And there's rumors, and I don't think it'll happen, but there's rumors that there could be images of Palpatine's, because she mentioned or the guy mentioned a speech in front of the Senate, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Not only, but the Emperor.
Well, that is the Emperor.
Well, they mentioned twice. One Palpatine and one Emperor.
Right, because he's the Emperor now. He's Emperor Palpatine.
Well, there's 2 sides. There's the Palpatine, the politician, and there's the Emperor of the galaxy.
No, he became Emperor at the end of Revenge of the Sith when he took over.
Yeah, but there's 2 sides of the coin that he's playing.
No, not anymore. He's all Emperor. He's all Emperor Palpatine. Senator Palpatine doesn't exist anymore. Or Chancellor Palpatine.
Why would he refer to Palpatine if he's the Emperor?
Because that's his name. That's his name, Emperor Palpatine.
Really?
Yeah.
I always saw it Emperor and then... Okay.
Yeah, he became emperor at the end of.
I thought we were watching some of this stuff. Maybe I'm not big on the prequels like you are. Maybe I got to revisit it and see what I'm missing.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I'm not a big prequel guy, but
Wait a minute, I thought you liked the prequels.
no, they're okay. Let me tell you, they're better than the sequels.
That's the only thing I liked.
They're better than the sequels. That's what I'll.
Sequel? No, don't get me started on the sequels.
Yeah, to me they don't even exist. To me, it was.
You didn't get chills and enjoy The Force Awakens when Han Solo came back with Chewbacca on this Millennium Falcon in Force Awakens? Come on.
No, did nothing for me because I remember what Harrison Ford said how much he hated playing Han Solo and would never do it again until they wrote a big enough check to get his ass in front of the camera. And that's why I'm...
The same thing about James Earl Jones, and now it gets digitalized.
Yep.
Check got so big, digitalized my ass.
Yeah.
Now James Earl Jones' voice is going to be digitalized for the rest of his life. He did all so you get to hear him as Darth Vader for the rest of our lifetimes and beyond.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he agreed to it, so...
And Carrie Fisher's family agreed to her likeness and digitalizing her audio. How do you feel about all that?
If they don't exploit it, I think that Tarkin was a little too much.
But that was different. They had to reach out to her family for that. But
Right. I know they had to Yeah.
But the way I understand it was, James Earl Jones gives full permission, and he's all cool, and he's still alive. Carrie Fisher's family, her daughter, most importantly, said, I'm okay with it because my mom wanted this legacy. And that's cool, too. So I think certain things is cool. Now, taking like Elvis or Bogart or, like old school, like back in the days, that's different because those people are not alive and their families trying to cash in on the money. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. So let me ask you, have you watched anything on Netflix?
Well, I'm in the middle of watching Blonde.
What is it?
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that chick's up for a nomination, like a Academy Award nomination, and she looks just like Marilyn Monroe.
And the show's good?
Yeah, so far. I had to pause it because I was in the middle, you know me. I try to watch a movie, but it's a really long movie, but it's really good. So I find myself recapturing backwards and going forward. So I'm enjoying it slowly. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
You know about that one movie you recommended? Bullet Train?
Uh-huh.
Totally killer, man. Totally killer.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really enjoyed that one. But I got a chance to watch The Watcher over the weekend. Have you seen anything about that?
Which one is that?
That is about this couple.
The video game? The Watcher?
The Watcher? No, it's
Is that based on a video game or?
No. I think it was based on a British movie, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe a British TV series. But what it's about is this family buys this multi-million-dollar house in, I want to say upstate New York or Connecticut or something, and they get menacing notes in the mailbox from somebody called the Watcher, and it starts to freak them out, and Naomi Watts. Let's see. You know who she is, right? Huh?
No, not ringing the bell.
She was. She played in Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Oh, that chick. Okay, got mental vision. Okay.
Yeah. So.
She's a good actress.
Huh?
She's a good actress.
Yes, she was very good in it. Mia Farrow is in it.
So what attracted you to this film?
Well, it's a series, and it was something that my wife wanted to watch. So, because there is a trade-off with things that I want to watch.
So what's your trade-off?
Well, I got to watch almost every game of the playoffs.
I'm so sorry to hear about that.
I watched the Phillies. I saw the 3 games for the Mets, the Phillies. Watched some of the Braves. Didn't watch any of the Yankees because I hate the Yankees, and I'm glad they lost. But yeah, so I get to watch baseball until the end of the year, and in the non-baseball days, we get to watch cheesy horror shows. I get to watch Sister Wives. I get to watch Hallmark movies, which aren't bad. Well, this year's Hallmark movies are pretty bad. They've changed, and I don't think we'll be watching too many Hallmark Christmas movies this year.
John, speaking of Christmas movies, what do you think about that new, Christmas movie that I was talking about earlier?
The Christmas Story sequel?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that looks really good. I mean, there was only a teaser trailer for it, so...
I didn't disappoint you with the Nintendo thing last year, right? Or was that last year or the year before?
That was great.
See, I just see you're wrong. And I have a good feeling this might be a good thing or a really bad thing.
Well, I think if Peter Billingsley is doing it, he has a connection to the story. So, I think if he's got stuff going on with it, it's gonna be something that is meets his standards, because he is a good director. He is very creative, and I think it's going to be good.
But do you think, how much of the original cast outside what we saw, Ralphie, might come back? Do you think the bullies will come back? And
Well, I've seen stories about it where Ralphie's back, his brother is back, his friend who sticks his tongue to the pole is back. Oh no, that's his brother. His brother does that, doesn't he?
no, I think his friend did it.
That's all right. Yeah, yes, his friend in his class.
Because his brother was built like a tick because, too many layers.
Right, because of the jacket. But I don't know if the bullies would be back, because didn't they all become friends at the end?
Well, you have to shoot your eye out first before you figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that scene will be recreating itself in some way.
They'll probably with like
Or just for the youngsters.
probably like a paintball gun or something. But
There
yeah,
you go.
that looks pretty good. So
So before I let you go, I have to ask you something special. Are you ready?
fire away.
All right. So I'm thinking about this. The Halloween season is upon us. We got certain films we enjoy. What are your top 3 films that you enjoy? Because for me, it's got to be Nightmare Before Christmas. It's got to be Psycho, the original, old school Hitchcock. And filling the last spot, it always has to be Halloween. What do you got? I can put you on the spot. Sorry.
No, I spoke about one of them earlier tonight, Poltergeist.
Oh, that's a great flick.
That is special to me because it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Because I saw it for my 13th birthday, and it hit me so hard that I had to sleep with a radio on for the next 20 years. 20 years I slept with a radio on.
No kidding.
Yeah. Whenever the TV, see, and it's hard to explain. Like when I first watched it with my kids, they were like, "Why does the TV do that?" Because
White noise still freaks me out to this day, brother.
yeah, because they didn't have that. They didn't have a sign off with the national anthem and then the TV going. You know, they didn't have that at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, waking up to a TV with a snowy screen.
Yep.
So Poltergeist would be on the list, and I'm not going to put these in any numerical favorite order of like top, but my 3 would probably be, if I'm going for scares, I'm going old school, probably all the way. So we have Poltergeist. We have a film called Ghost Story.
That's a good one with Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire and who's the guy that used to do the commercials? You know who I'm talking about, right?
Dr. Pepper himself, right?
I don't know if it was.
He played American Werewolf from London. That same guy?
He's the old English actor.
Oh, now I'm wrong then.
What the heck is his name?
Fred Astaire is the only one I remember from that one.
You have.
He totally stands out.
Let's
what's the other
see.
film?
Let me go on to.
You're Googling.
I'm IMDbing it. Yes, John Houseman.
John Houseman.
You remember him?
Proper man.
They earn it. I think that was the commercial he did, right?
Well, yeah, he did the advertisements for the investors. So if what's his name? Somebody's not listening. Someone else is listening. I can't remember his name.
And then you have let's see, Douglas Fairbanks Jr. I think that's the only movie I saw.
That was the guy his father played Robin Hood, right?
I think he played Robin Hood.
Oh, then who's his father did?
It could be Senior, Douglas Fairbanks Sr.
Okay. I remember Douglas Fairbanks being Robin Hood. That's
Let's
my
see.
movie mind going.
Pirates of Penzance, Love Boat,
All right, there you go.
The Legend of Robin Hood.
There you go. See, I know I was on something.
So, and then you know who was the girl,
Nah.
the dead girl. I'm gonna mention a name, and you let me know where you know this name from.
All right, drum roll, please. Gotta do the tongue thing.
Alice Krieg.
Nope, don't ring a bell.
Aren't you a Trekker? Only original Trek, right? You don't do you don't do next gen.
Recently.
You don't do next gen Trek.
Oh, next gen. God bless him. He followed Star Trek. Okay. So who did she play?
She was the Borg Queen in First Contact.
Oh, there you go. Okay. She was in that old school film?
She was in that in 1982. She was probably I'm not going to say a kid, but
Youngster?
let's see. So she was born in 54. So she was in her mid-20s.
Man, and she was in the 90s doing the Borg, and now it's 2022. She's reprising that. Whoa. They're doing some facial recognition backwards stuff, huh?
Well, she wasn't in Picard's Borg. She wasn't
I
Picard.
thought that was the same chick.
No,
Looks like her. I don't know.
no, that was the chick from 24.
Oh,
The last few seasons of 24. So anyway, on my
she
three
looks familiar.
my th-
Damn, okay.
my three are Poltergeist, Ghost Story,
Uh-huh.
and then probably my third.
Dun, 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 dun,
No,
dun,
not
dun,
Jaws,
dun,
because
dun, dun.
to me Jaws isn't scary.
Some are scary. Go ahead.
I might have to go with you on Halloween.
Nightmare Before Christmas or Halloween?
Halloween,
Oh, yeah, the original.
yeah. Nightmare Before
Yeah,
Christmas.
that was
To me,
pretty
Nightmare Before Christmas doesn't even belong in this category.
Oh, to me, okay, here's the deal. Is Gremlins a Halloween story or a Christmas story?
Gremlins?
Yeah.
Well,
Some people call it
Gremlins is a
Halloween.
Gremlins is a
Sorry.
Christmas tale. It's
Yeah,
like
more Christmas, right?
it's like Die Hard. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Lethal Weapon 1 is a Christmas movie.
And that's a whole different podcast.
Speaking of different podcasts, I am running at 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I am fading fast. It
God
is.
bless your soul.
It is. It's sleepy time here. So I think.
Well, I'm going to let you go, sir. Do your thing. Once again, thanks to you so much for letting me come aboard on the Geek and I.
Well, anytime I'll figure out a way to take phone calls if you like, where I don't have to hold the phone up to the microphone. I got to work on that situation. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jeff Dickinson. You can check out Jeff Dickinson's channel, The Collector Zone. Oh, and he hung up on me. Before I could even say goodnight, he hung up. I was going to give him a plug for his channel, but he hung up. But you can find him at youtube.com/@thecollectorzone with the new YouTube handles. That's the easiest way to find it, youtube.com/@thecollectorzone. He posts 2 or 3 videos, 4 videos a week, some really good stuff. You can find him there. You can also head over to the Collector Zone eBay channel and check out what he's got on sale. He's got some really, really cool collectibles that occasionally he'll put up for auction when he wants something new. And thank you for watching the program tonight. Sorry we came on about an hour late. We had an amazing thunderstorm here in town, and even my soundproof room and all the technology that I have running in here could not handle the loudness of the thunder. We were thunderstruck. So, once again, thank you very much for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next time. This has been the Weekend Watch List. Next week's Weekend Watch List, I can guarantee, will be World Series Baseball. We will come back on probably Monday evening. You want to talk? I think that is a day off. Or let's see, they play Friday and Saturday, off Sunday. So they might even have a game. Game 3 will be probably Monday. That'll be in Philly. The first 2 will be in Houston, and then they'll go down to Philly for 3, and then hopefully not come back, and the Phillies will be world champions, even though I am a Mets fan. Pulling for the Phillies, and if you go back a couple of weeks ago, before the wild card series, I actually went player by player of who I do not want the Mets to face in the division series and in the championship series. I mean, we know they didn't make it, but it was the Phillies that I was afraid of. I knew we would have beat the Braves if we could have just gotten past old slippery fingers Musgrove, and then go to Atlanta. We probably could have taken. Actually, we would have been over in Los Angeles, and we probably would have handled the Dodgers because we always beat the Dodgers in the playoffs. Except '88. Yeah, I know, but that was a long time ago. But congratulations to Bryce Harper. You've earned my respect. I always thought you were a punk. You've grown up. You've become a great ball player. And not that you aren't always great, but to me, the greats produce in the situations that they need to. Unlike Pete Alonso, unlike Francisco Lindor, all the big names that the Mets had that choked, didn't show up. Scherzer, 2 games in a row, we needed you. Didn't show up. DeGrom showed up for 1 game. Chris Bassett, I think they had a pitching machine dressed up as Chris Bassett on the mound in Game 3, and then you weren't going to hit Musgrove because of all that crap that he had on his ears. And there's no telling me, you cannot tell me that he wasn't cheating and that there wasn't shit on his ears, because his ears were wetter and shinier and sweatier in 46-degree New York than they were in 78-degree Los Angeles. And then his ears didn't look like that in Philly. And what happened? Philly, he got hammered. But back to our goodbyes. Thanks for watching the program. We will catch you next time on The Geek and I. This is the weekend watch list. Going to probably discuss A couple of movies. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to a cabin in the woods. Maybe we'll watch a cabin in the woods for Halloween. We're going away to a cabin in the woods for Halloween weekend, so maybe that'll be something we watch there. And then we'll talk about that because I don't think I've seen that. And that'd be a good thing to watch when you're at a cabin in the woods. We will see you next time. This is the Geek and I podcast. My name is John. Have a good night, everybody. If you wouldn't mind, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and we really appreciate you taking the time to check us out. Even if you're just one of the 3 or 4 that checked in for a few minutes. Next time you stop by, drop a comment. Let me know you're watching. There's a question if I can work you into the program. I would really love to do that. We'll have a conversation. We'll see you next time. Later.